Welcome to this weekend's Jungle Chat. It's been a while. Hey, I'm on a jungle safari this weekend. Brought my Alberta flag with me, as I always do. And a guest, as you can see, slippery. Wow, licking. Quit sniffing my ear. Well, you just rest on my neck as you've been doing. See, he's long enough. He can't crush me. He's just growing. Wait till he gets bigger. I better watch out. Ah. Well, it's been a while, and I'm wondering. I'm wondering. I'm wondering. I'm really wondering. You're probably wondering too, and I don't blame you. Because, okay, after you texted with Jordan a few days ago, we could literally say last week. And then I asked you a couple of questions. If you could go on a student exchange. Now, here's something interesting. You didn't answer normally. I'm not that you're not normal, but you didn't answer in a fashion that would be typical. And that, okay, here you haven't spoke or texted with a friend in a long time, and she's in an exotic place like France, and then remember I was confused a week before about when Mommy said you wanted to learn French and you had never told me that? I thought the natural reaction from you would be, oh, I would like to go to France. That would be somewhat of a confirmation. And then when you say other parts of Canada, you didn't say Quebec. Now, that would have been another confirmation of this desire to learn French. But you did say Japan within the context of the question about student exchange. And you did say earlier you'd like to learn Japanese. But you also said it would take a while. Yeah, Japanese is a complicated language, where French is considerably easier. And yes, that's correct. It would take you less time to learn French than it would Japanese. And don't take this as a discouragement, but an encouragement. I want you to look at things a bit more practically speaking. Well, if you had a desire to go to Canada and work for the federal government, which requires French at a certain level, then, that makes some sense. But is it in your heart? See, that's a big question. Is it in your heart? If it is, great. But I'm not sure it is, because some of the answers you didn't give. Some of the answers you didn't give. And some of the answers you gave. And I want you to think of it this way when it comes to learning another language. you have to, well, first of all, you're not moving any place. I mean, if you were relocating to France or Chad or Quebec, then I'd say, okay, there's a practicality. It's a practical reason to learn the language. I take it from personal experience. It's better to know the language when you're there. It's complicated when you don't. After time. But if you are not in that situation and you're learning for learning's sake, Japanese takes longer to learn. But once you learn, English is your first, Portuguese is your second. Oh, your third language. Once you have your third language, the fourth language, no matter what it is, it's much easier to learn. Well, there are some differences. See, you have an English, Portuguese, which is a lot closer to French than Japanese. Like, if you compare the three to Japanese, they're identical. So, but once you get older, the languages like Japanese and Chinese become a lot more difficult to learn. And that's why I'm encouraging you to learn Japanese. Not because it was and still is my favorite language and I really like it. Not just talking about learning skills and learning things and practicality. French would be easy for you to learn. Even while you're learning Japanese. And if you're learning Japanese, who knows, maybe one day you can go on a intercambio or student exchange, which to one of them their Japanese islands. Stay with a Japanese, that'd be really cool to stay with a Japanese family. That would be so cool. Stay with a French family. What's the difference between us, being, Canadian American, Francophone type peoples? There's some differences, but they're subtle. But there's a lot of difference between a Japanese family and the way we live. A lot. And I think I'm just encouraging you. I'm not discouraging you. I'm not saying don't learn French. I'm just saying place a lesser priority on it. Unless there's things we don't know about, or I don't know about. I'm just going on all that I know. So, while I'm here in this weekend jungle chat, I wanted to bring that up. You can understand my curiosity, especially since you never mentioned anything. And speaking of which, it's always good to mention things to your parents. Because we want to know your interests. Well, good parents want to know the interests of their children. I do. If you said, hey, I have a real interest to go to Greenland and learn Inuktitut. Okay. Well, as one day you could. It may sound really cool, but it's not practical at all, except there. Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Yeah, I think you do. But if you'd like to discuss anything more on this topic, feel free. Because, as I said, I want to know what you know. No. Yeah, I do. I really would. And I want to know what interests you. So, goodbye from Snaky. I'll stop biting my ear. And goodbye from me. For now. Until the next Jungle Chat. Or Tweety Chat. Or Chat. Beachside Chat. I like those. Those are nice. You get to sit on a nice beach with the water and waves rolling in, as long as it's not too late in the day and that, tide comes in. That's a pain. I'd almost rather be here in the jungle. What do you say? What do you think? Yeah. You know, it'll be interesting. Speaking of student exchanges and all, imagine, okay, let's say you live here or in Edmonton. And you do a student exchange to Calgary. Wouldn't that be something? Wow. No need to have that worry and bother of learning another language. Or, too much cultural differences. They root for the Flames. They root for the Stampeders. In Edmonton, well, we got the Oilers. And that's a plane going overhead. Whoa, man. Duck. Yeah. Yeah, the Oilers and the Eskimos. So, better watch out from those planes. Gotta go. Have a nice time. Oh, you got these facial itches. Sorry. What am I sorry for? I'm not sorry for this, for saying what I'm saying. Know what I mean? Sorry for being so tight. Because we got the coronavirus wiping out entire populations of countries. Shouldn't touch my face. Or have snakes lick you. Oh, stop it. Sometimes I'm sorry for being just too silly. And this time I'm saying goodbye.